Good evening, and thank you for keeping a date with us on the program Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria, a program that gives you information about the potentials of the Nigeria's agricultural sector and the effort of the stakeholders to tap from the opportunities therein. I'm your anchor, Gabriel Ojile. In tonight's episode of the program, I will take you through efforts by a government institution to fabricate agricultural machines locally in order to promote mechanized agriculture in Nigeria. Keep watching.
Ensure that we provide the necessary policy direction that will truly position agriculture as the mainstay of our economy.
The federal government is removing obstacles and offering opportunities for self-employment, wealth creation, and food security in the Nigeria's agricultural sector.
Think farming, think agriculture.
Watch Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria.
We kickstart the program with news from the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. In our diary tonight, President Buhari launches L-Press to enhance livestock production. Details of these and other news reports coming your way shortly. Stay tuned.
You need to put your hands together again.
President Muhammadu Buhari has launched the Livestock Productivity and Resilience Support Project, L-Press, to enhance the livestock value chain development in Nigeria. L-Press is a 6-year project supported by the World Bank with the objective to improve the livestock subsector management for increased productivity, food and nutrition security, income growth, and social cohesion between farmers and herders. Speaking during the launch in Abuja, President Buhari, who was represented by the Chief of Staff to the President, Professor Ibrahim Gambari, said that the livestock subsector has enormous potentials and the federal government, in collaboration with the World Bank and other stakeholders, will ensure full implementation of the project.
Specifically, L-Press is a 6-year program being implemented by the federal government of Nigeria in partnership with the World Bank Group, Development Bank of Nigeria, and private investors in the country. All the 36 states of Nigeria FCT are eligible to participate after meeting very transparent eligibility criteria.
Speaking earlier, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, stated that the ministry will remain committed to support the World Bank with manpower and other interventions to ensure the implementation of the project.
Climate security and conflict resolution, which is one of the areas to be prioritized by this project, will also guarantee peaceful coexistence between farmers and livestock rearers and ensure conservation of natural resources and the environment. For the purpose of effective and efficient project implementation process, component specialists needed to drive the project execution process have been recruited through a highly competitive process supervised by the Federal Ministry and other stakeholders.
The representatives of Nigeria Governors Forum, Abba Gambo, stated that the forum would fast-track the implementation of the project.
The Nigerian Governors Forum is going to be part and parcel of the driving of this policy, and we are ready and eager because we have to take the message to the states. And let me just kindly say this. In most cases, policies are launched in Abuja. The Commissioner of Agriculture in Borno State might not be aware. The Commissioner of Agriculture in Ekiti might not be aware, but it's a national policy. So it is the role of the Nigerian Governors Forum to now be a synergy between all the policies at the federal level and take it down to the states. So that is our major work.
In a bid to enhance agricultural production and reduce drudgery in Nigeria's agricultural sector, the federal government recently flagged off a public-private partnership tractorization program. The Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, performed the ceremony in the head office of the Bank of Agriculture in Kaduna. Abubakar stated that the program will be carried out under a public-private partnership arrangement and will be targeted at small and medium-scale farmers for increased production, food security, and employment generation.
The vital role of agriculture in the Nigerian economy makes it necessary for the sector to reinvigorate and to reinvent itself through tractor acquisition in order to achieve food and nutrition security. This will lead to improved quantity and quality of food per person, as well as reduce drudgery of farmers in Nigeria. Increasing productivity through tractorization is fundamental to food security, as seen in other countries, especially China.
Also speaking during the occasion, the Managing Director of the Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Ali Hassan, stated that the bank will facilitate the project by providing tractors to farmers who applied for them and paid 40% of the cost of the tractor, while the remaining payments will be spread within the period of 3 years.
This event is a step towards increasing the availability of mechanized agricultural equipment to beef up the mechanization rate of the country. It is a PPP arrangement where each of the parties is required to abide by the rules stated in the tripartite agreement that has been signed by the parties in order to ensure success of the program. The Bank of Agriculture will subject all applications received to its credit risk procedures in order to ensure that we select qualified managed service providers to implement the project. Beneficiaries will be subjected to ensuring all the equipment and the tractors with the Nigerian Agricultural Insurance Corporation, NAEC.
High point of the ceremony was the presentation of documents to some of the beneficiaries of the tractors. Speaking in an interview with our correspondent after receiving the documents, the Chief Executive Officer of Hickman Group, Sanus Suleiman, who was one of the beneficiaries of the tractorization program, applauded the federal government for the initiative.
This is one of the actually program that help in bringing, reducing the gap we are having in mechanization sector entirely. And we have to recommend the effort of the Ministry of Agriculture and at the same time Bank of Agriculture and the vendors, tractors vendors, for actually organizing this program and for making it possible to order smallholder farmer to actually access the tractorization and to have mechanized farming entirely.
One of the easiest ways to attain great heights in technological innovation is the ability of the nation to locally manufacture such technology. Along this line of thinking, Nigeria's engineers have to a large extent been able to fabricate agricultural machines to advance agricultural mechanization in Nigeria. And we all know that agricultural mechanization is the best way to attain self-sufficiency in food production. Tonight, we shall be looking at these technologies that have been fabricated by research institutes in the country and how they are impacting on agricultural production in Nigeria. Stay tuned for the details in our next segment of the program. Keep watching.
The need for Nigeria to attain self-sufficiency in food and fiber production led to the establishment of the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization, Ilorin, Kwara State, by Decree No. 35 of 1990. Now an act of the National Assembly, its mandates include to accelerate the pace of mechanization in the agricultural sector in order to increase the quantity and quality of agricultural products in Nigeria, research and innovate into indigenous technology, fabricate and produce local agricultural technology that can reduce drudgery using local materials, regulate the importation of agricultural equipment into the country in collaboration with Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, train stakeholders in agriculture, farmers, women and youth, and tractor operators, and to bring into focus all mechanical devices that can aid agricultural production from every research institutions in Nigeria and any private entrepreneur who is investing in production of equipment. The Executive Director, NCAM, Dr. M. Yomi Kasali, speaks more on the various departments under the Institute and how they connect with government's policy.
Agriculture is the most important resources that God gave the country. We have vast, arable land, we have human resources, we have everything that we need to make agriculture a priority. So the government said we should prioritize agriculture, and in so doing, we as NCAM, we have started encouraging the farmers by producing local equipment for local equipment for them.
The heartbeat of NCAM resides with the Engineering and Scientific Services Department. This department services all other departments and assists in the production of research outputs, coming up with prototypes that are ready for commercialization.
When our researchers come up with the designs, it's brought to the workshop here. And what we do, we analyze it and come up with a prototype. While we're analyzing, we are researching whether it will be a workable prototype. We are researching into the material. We are researching into the product for which that machine is produced for.
NCAM has come up with a rich array of local technologies that have empowered farmers over the years. Some of the field equipment developed to aid land preparation and planting are 30 horsepower tricycles, 40 horsepower medium-sized tractors, furrow planters on tractor mount, and rice transplanters in the pipeline. Indeed, mechanization does not end in the farm. Even processing in Nigeria needs simple processing machinery. Some processing machines developed by the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization are integrated rice milling machine capable of producing 1.5 tons per hour and mini rice sheller, groundnut decorticator with a capacity of 1 ton per hour, hammer mill for maize, cassava, beans, other grains, cassava sifter with production capacity of 1 ton per hour, automated gari frying machine, winnowing machine, coffee processing unit, oil palm processing line, melon sheller with separator, 2.5 ton capacity maize sheller, 50 kilogram smoking kiln for smoking meat, chicken and fish, and coconut dehusking machine including coconut oil processor. These laudable technologies have been deployed and are in use by farmers locally and even beyond.
Do you want to start talking about the Mu community in Benue State? Or you want us to start talking about our processing centers? We have 11 in Kwara State that they are working. There was a time we had farmers who could not afford to buy the threshers they required for their farm. They planted soya beans. And what we did was they approached the center. The center produced that machine. They deposited money. And since we were able to get their data, we allowed them to take away the machine. Within 2 weeks, they came back and paid off our money. And how did it happen? They were able to thresh their crop and also rent out that thresher to other farmers who never knew that they actually got that thresher on credit.
Cocoa Research Institute, they had a problem of coffee processing. The farmers were complaining. They brought it to us. We went into the process of developing a coffee processing machine, from depulping to polishing and so on and so forth. It's a collaborative research.
Rice processing for internal consumption and for possible export is a major preoccupation of this administration's policy thrust, to which NCAM has keyed into.
NCAM was a leading role in the rice production in the country. In Kebbi State, we went there in 2010, we trained their farmers, and the revolution started. And the government of the day then embraced the technology. And you can see that when we went there, the production of rice was about 3.72 tons per hectare, but now it's about 7 point something.
Another area of agriculture where NCAM has had most success in terms of technology deployment include cassava processing, oil palm, among others.
For cassava, for instance, we have 6 model cassava processing centers that we have been able to establish. We have one in Gama. Even as you drive out of the gate of the center now, if you go by your right to Idofia, you will see a model cassava processing center there, run as a business. It's functioning as I speak. If you go to the gate and drive to your left, you are going to Ilorin town. Before you get to Gama, you will see another model cassava processing center run as a business. And this is also part of our corporate social responsibility, to make the community to feel our impact, to make the community to know that the technologies we are developing are functional and can assist them in most of their daily activities.
The
Idofiang is a community in Ifelodun local government area of Kwara State where NCAM is sited. Farmers here have the benefit of testing the farm machines and equipment of NCAM. They have stories of how these machines have increased their productivity.
NCAM do a lot, as I'm saying. So by the time I'm using manual, when we have now come and support us, you can't have a large farm. But by the time when you're supporting us with tractor, plowing, harrowing, with a machine that's planting rice, so we have a lot of large farm. We are really support us in farming. We still need more. So the more they help us, the more we have a large farm.
Since I've been working, there's an establishment, NCAM. They used to help me. We go there normally for this thing, tractor hiring, anything farm equipment. They used to assist us within the community or outside even the states also. So we hire tractor, they will help us cultivating our land, do everything that is needed in the farm.
The program is transforming agriculture in Nigeria, and we are showcasing technologies developed by the National Center for Agricultural Mechanization. Other research institutes have also keyed into the mechanization drive of the federal government to enhance agricultural mechanization in Nigeria. Our next segment will take a look at what they have come up with, just as we examine the step of the federal government to partner with Brazil and other companies to enhance mechanization in Nigeria. Keep watching.
The Institute for Agricultural Research has a mechanization program to make agriculture easier for farmers through technology.
The mandate, which is actually our aim and objective, are mainly categorized into two. One is to undertake researches into methodologies that will enhance agricultural production through mechanization. And the second one is to develop some prototypes that will be used in achieving those aims and also evaluate the prototypes.
This is the Agric Mechanization Research Program of IAR. Here, technologists and engineers are in the business of fabricating different tools and equipment for Nigerian farmers.
The fabrication unit, all the prototype you've seen outside, this is where we made them. So that's why we call it fabrication unit. You can see some evidence on the floor. The machines that are in position that we are still working on. So this is where we work, and then after finishing the whole thing, you will see them outside. The one that we go to the farmers.
A tour of the showroom of the Agricultural Mechanization Research Program displays how the machines fabricated by these Nigerian technologists function. The machines include maize threshers, groundnut threshers, multi-crop threshers for soybeans and sorghum, all extracting machines, amongst others. With these technologies, farmers can easily plant their crops with the planters developed by IAR. It has also reduced the stress farmers go through to manually operate the herbicide sprayers on the farm.
This machine you are seeing is called a hand-push, wheel-driven boom sprayer. It is a multi-purpose sprayer. You can apply herbicide, insecticide, and fungicide with it by changing the nozzles. All right, and this sprayer can cover as large as 3 meters. Okay, at a go. Okay, and you can see how fast it can finish a hectare or more. The manual one, the stress of pumping and the lever has been discarded. Okay, so we make it this way so that the operator would not pump it, would not stress himself to pump it. Okay, so we made it this way, and it is very, very easy and very affordable by the farmers.
During the National Council on Agriculture meeting in Jos in the last quarter of 2022, the Federal College of Land Resources also showcased technologies developed locally for cleaning of grains after harvest.
This is grain cleaner. And instead of using hand to window or to clean your grain, or what you need to do, you just pour your grains inside this hopper. As you pour your grain in the hopper here, all the shaft will be removed through this outlet here. And we have the other outlet under. All the clean grains will not be collecting under here. And that is how the thing operated.
Aside this, the college has also developed groundnut oil extractor, which was also displayed for processors to enhance the processing and extraction of groundnut oil.
This one is oil extractor. In this oil extractor, you know, locally, after frying the groundnut, we grind it, it comes in form of a cake. In olden days, women use hand to squeeze to be able now to extract the oil. But in this aspect now, after you have grounded the groundnut, you just throw the cake. You just throw the cake inside here. We have a beater inside here. As it rotates, it will now continue to be squeezing the groundnut cake. And as it's squeezing it, you will see the oil coming out. We have a tap attached to it under here. You open the tap, the extracted oil will be collected.
Kano State Ministry of Agriculture has also developed storage technology to take care of post-harvest loss of crops, such as onions. It was exhibited during the World Food Day in Nasarawa State.
This is a new technology that we have fabricated from Kano State Ministry of Agriculture and Natural Resources, Agribusiness Department. We fabricate it with wooden materials, with like rato fan and a drum, with some pipes, and it is solar energy produced. We use solar panels to produce light for this equipment so that you can keep your onion for a long period of time. Although you can see it is somehow a small equipment, but it can contain up to 5 bags of onion. We can keep it for at least 3 to 4 months without any spoilage. And even if you are getting lost in your post-harvest, if you use this equipment, it will reduce your post-harvest loss.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is also working in collaboration with Brazil and other stakeholders to increase the number of tractors in Nigeria to enhance mechanization. During the West Africa Agro Fair held in 2022 in Abuja, the minister assured stakeholders in the agricultural sector of the ministry's drive to enhance agricultural mechanization through partnerships with the private sector.
The ministry is working with local and international companies engaged in bilateral and multilateral agreement, such as International Mofood of Brazil, aimed at providing basic agricultural machinery to our farmers. Under the Mofood program, about 10,000 tractors and 50,000 processing equipment to produce and add value to our agricultural produce are expected to be imported in complete knockdown and will be distributed to all local government across the country.
The use of machines at every stage of agricultural production and processing is key to the attainment of food security. Efficiency is increased, productivity is also increased, processing is enhanced, and wastage reduced. It is therefore good to know that the federal government is encouraging local fabrication of agricultural machines and tools to remove drudgery from the agricultural value chain in Nigeria, and farmers or processors can take advantage of the technologies to enhance production. See you same time and same station next week for another episode of Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria. Good night.